everybody, and welcome to Books and Looks, where I talk to you guys about the books that I'm reading while going ahead and doing my makeup. Today we're going to talk about a little something interesting. It's going to be called What the Heck Did I Just Read? Because I read some very interesting books lately and we need to talk about them. So we're going to start off with Sunrise on the Reaping. I gave that one 3 stars. Not that I hated it. 3 stars doesn't mean I hate it. It's kind of just like, wasn't fantastic for me. So the only reason I gave that one a lower rating was because I just felt like it was just a really sad book. And I understand that that's like his storyline. It's just very sad. You're learning about Haymitch and about what went down in his Hunger Games prior to when he was with Katniss and Peeta. So it is just a very sad book. And then the next one is Tell Me What You Did. Now I also gave this one a 3 stars. Let me just start off by saying I had such high hopes for this book, okay? Because it's about a woman who, she has a crime podcast, and on this podcast, she interviews people who kill other people. So murderers, psychopaths, like, you know, it's a very interesting, different crime podcast than you normally would read about in books. So I was very intrigued. She reads about all these stories that like people are just absolutely crazy. And then you come to find out that she's interviewing her mom's murderer, okay? So she interviews him and, you know, it's getting very creepy, very sneaky. You find out like all of these information and all of these things. And then you find out, well, she's like, you're not the real guy because I murdered my mom's killer. So it's very like back and forth crazy. And then when the answer finally comes to the end of the book, I was like, really, that's who it was?
Goodbye.
Like, just didn't give me what I wanted it to give. I didn't like the ending at all. And I was so bummed because I spent 300 or so pages reading this book just to have this crappy ending. The next one was How Does It Feel? So this book was a 2-part series. Actually, you know what? I think it's about to be 4-part series now. I was kind of looking into it, but it's part of the Infatuated Fae series. I had also very, very high hopes for this book. But it's just also, again, was just another one that I'm like, not really feeling it. You know, maybe it was me. Maybe I was just like having a bad time reading these books because it just felt like one after the other was just not giving me like what I needed from the storyline. Then for the next one, now hear me out on this one. I did read the Chocolate Chip Cookie Murder. Now, I did give this one a 4 out of 5. Was it cheesy? Very much so. It was actually turned into a Hallmark movie series. So I guess there was a couple of them. And she has a whole bunch of books based off of like desserts, aka also like murders too. So it's actually pretty cool. So I did enjoy the book. I did. I do actually watch a lot of Hallmark movies. So you know that could be a me thing. I could see a lot of people not liking it because it's really close to Hallmark movies and not a lot of people like Hallmark movies. And what I also really love is that she has recipes in her book. It made me want to like pull out the cookie sheets and start baking cookies because she talks a lot about cookies and a lot about desserts. So it was really, really like making my mouth water and making me want to read and bake. And then I moved on to kind of a different area, different genre, and I read Does It Hurt by H.D. Carlton. Now that one I gave a 4 out of 5 stars. Really, really, really enjoyed that one. It was recommended to me by my sister and my sister's friend. A lot of people have read it. I've kind of just been a little bit slower to the party here, but I did enjoy that one a lot more than I actually was anticipating because like I said, I'm like, what the heck have I been reading lately? Like just the stories just weren't connecting with me like the way they usually do. And it all got good because I finally got to read Enchantra, which is part 2 of Phantasma. So if you guys have not read Phantasma, I have raved about it over on my TikTok. I don't even remember if I made a YouTube video about it, but that book is fantastic. I would recommend that one. But Enchantra, I loved this book. I love throwing a little bit of romance, throwing a little bit of games. I'm like, I feel like that's my perfect book. And then with like attractive men, it was just great. I loved the book. It was 5 out of 5 for me. But that is the look for today. So I went ahead and did a little bit of some Hawaiian look. If you have not noticed already, I am going to go see the new live action Lilo and Stitch movie today with my children. So I thought I would throw this look together right here while talking about the books that I just read because they were all very crazy in their own way. Let me know in the comments if you guys have read any of these books and what your final thoughts on the books are. Stay tuned for my next Frida McFadden book YouTube video next week, and I will see you guys next week. Bye!